All right, what's up? Before I show you this amazing conversation I had with Edward, I just want to give a huge thanks to Off Brand once again. So this is the second t-shirt they gave me. This is the Off Brand Globe Tee in sand, as you can see. I don't know. Personally, I just love this color. I've been wanting to get more stuff in this color, and it's super comfy, and I feel like I can style it with anything. So once again, I really want to thank you guys, the people behind Off Brand, the first sponsor for the Anton on One podcast. Thank you. I just want to make you feel special because usually when I do my podcast interviews, I'm wearing shorts lang and I'm not wearing shoes. But today I put on wax because I know that I'm interviewing you. So without further ado, I mean it's been a while coming. I've been wanting to have you on the podcast. The reason behind probably 30% of my followers and 50% of the people who comment on my post, Mr. Edward Barbers.
Oy, ano ba yan? Walang S. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It's been a long time. When is the last time we actually talked before this? I mean, I'm not going to count text messages. I'm only counting like actual conversation.
Actual
conversation. It was like a week after we got retrenched.
Yeah, probably. That was end of August, no?
End of August. Was it end or... Yeah. Like beginning of September.
Yeah. Wow. So a quarter has passed. Dude, can I just say... my weeks have been parang medyo empty siya kasi I'm used to talking to you guys like at least 2 times a week, and even if it's like to work and to like talk about what are we gonna do for the next show, parang we have those in between cuentos, and that's something I really miss, and that's why I'm really excited to have this conversation. So thank you again, man. I know you're busy with all the promos going on, and I know you're in the province right now with your family, but just to start things off, how have you been? I'm not gonna put any you know how we usually do that. We put a funny way of asking it. But then I honestly want to know, Edward Barber, how have you been?
I've been, I think since leaving MYX, and my days have been consumed by a different type of work. It's been challenging, I'm gonna say. It's probably doing this movie, honestly, was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, period.
Really?
More than MYX, more than any other project we've done before. It was really, really challenging. But honestly, when I was shooting the movie, so we had, for everyone who's listening, just a little bit of background. We shot the movie. It was like 36, it was like a month and a week that we were in lock-in, that we were away from our families, that we were stuck in hotels. And so it was quarantine style lock-in shooting. Maximum of 12 hours work a day. 8-hour turnaround, but
what does
you
that
have
mean?
to wake up early for it. So you have 12 hours of work a day. So for example, we start at 9, we finish at 9 a.m., we finish at 9 p.m.
Okay.
Sometimes we go a little bit over because if you're about to finish a scene, you should finish it, not have to go back the next day. So around roughly 12 hours. It didn't go past that at many times. Usually 12 hours. And then 8 hours where you should be able to rest. Then of course 12 plus 8 is 20. You have 4 hours remaining. That's set up and set down for the
makeup
crew.
And everything for you.
No, not included yung makeup and. But I mean, like for the times they set up the lights and the generator and stuff like that.
Good.
So that's the 24 hours, and usually you'll have 5 days straight, and then you'll have a day off. Sometimes depending on your character and your role, you won't. It won't reach 5 days. Yeah, it depends on what scenes you have. So that's the whole background of it all. And doing that for a month, it was insanely challenging. The question was, how are you?
No, this is how you are, man. Just keep going.
Yeah. But so there it is. We had to shoot this movie called Princess Daya Reese. And I'm sure we'll get to the topic of the story of it later. But doing that movie was probably I'm gonna say like the highlight in terms of challenges. Like we had a bunch of challenges this year, but this was like the cherry on top of the challenges. It was,
I can imagine,
the pinnacle of this year, and there's so many different factors at play. But all in all, like the euphoria that I felt on the last day, it's a really, really hard thing to explain because it was bittersweet in so many ways. Like when I finished the movie on the last day, and Derek gave this 10-minute speech that I have on camera. And everyone was celebrating. You know, we had a very, very small, intimate get together. We had some drinks and we had some food there. And just realizing like, oh, it's done.
You did it. We
I
did
was
it.
like,
Ganon.
we did it. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how I did that. By God's grace, we got through it. It was insane to really think about. Because there's so many things that I could talk about. Like there's so many miracles. Like Anton, we're close. You know some of the things that happened that you know.
Yeah.
But also two like Baguio. We had two storms.
Where was the location? By were you in Manila for the?
We
the
were
taping?
okay. So we had three main locations in one side. One of them was Bulacan.
Okay.
One of them was Bataan. Then there was the studios, which was in Manila. So we had to shoot inside the studio. They had to create a set there. And then a short 1-day location, which was in a park area.
Mm-hmm. You said that it took a month and a half to tape this one. Usually
month and a week. Yeah.
Month and a week. Sorry. How long does it usually take in your past projects?
Well, the thing is, lock-in shooting is almost like day after day, back to back to back. And then you have you have rest and all that stuff. But usually in the old normal, you'd have 3 days of shooting or taping a week. So it'd be MWF or TTHS.
Okay.
Sometimes you have productions like Provinciano, which shoot like every day because, that's like franchise, big level stuff. Per week, you have three shooting days. That gave a problem with, building chemistry, with continuity for the character because, you wouldn't just have those 3 days of work and then rest. No, you'd be doing like
other stuff too.
Other stuff. Like some people, hardcore actors, would have taping for their teleserie Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then they'd have shooting for a movie on every other day of the week. Sunday's their only day off. Like I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, so usually it would take a couple of months. If you were quick, maybe a month. But that's really rare. And if you really think about it, the preparation that has to go in, especially now into a movie, is insane. Because you have to, the safety is there. You have to secure, just think about it like this. I think I heard a crazy number, like 30% of our budget had to go to swab tests alone.
Oh man!
I think swab tests and accommodations, so our hotels, and we had 4 different hotels or 5 different hotels throughout the shooting because we had to move from place to place, location to location.
So 30% because of COVID, like
because of COVID.
Yeah, you wouldn't have needed accommodations if you could just go home.
So the producer has to figure out the schedules of the artists. They have to figure out what hotels, when, and where. They have to secure locations where no one else will be in. I think we had our first location in Bataan. We almost had to rent out the whole beach resort. Like we had the whole top floor on 2 buildings. So it was crazy. It's a crazy thing to do. And again, going back to the last day, I don't want to make it seem like I was relieved that it was over, but in some ways I was, and in some ways I was really sad because shooting with these people, and think about it, like I'm gonna name drop a few people, like Pepe Herrera. If some people know him from Provinciano, he was Benny. We had a Japanese actor from all the way from Japan, who's with us. They were my main team, so we're a trio in the movie. We're like a team within the movie. That's our story. And usually you'd start to build chemistry maybe around day 5, day 6. So that would be week 2 in old school shooting.
Normal.
We were close by. Yeah, we were close by like day 2, day 3, bro.
Okay,
because we were stuck together. So that's one of the pros of having this lock-in shooting. And so we got really close over this month and a week.
Yeah.
So it was really sad to leave after a while.
Yeah, I can imagine that there were a lot of it's everybody's just kind of focused on the project. You're not doing other work that much unless it's online. But I can kind of liken it to how the NBA bubble. I got to watch interviews of basketball players saying how yes, they love the game, same way how you probably love the people you were working with, you love the work that you were doing, but at the end of the day, when you go to rest, it's not really rest because you're still in the same place.
Mm.
And it's just like, instead of before, you can go, okay, I'm going to go in, taping, do my work and all that. I'll go home, I rest. You get to see your family or you get to see friends. You
Yeah.
get to kind of go back to your old life. What challenges, what could you like break it down to, like, what other challenges did you have to face? Because people, the audience would just imagine, oh yeah, hassle, you have to get swab test, you have to be locked in. But a lot of the time you spent doing that project isn't taping, isn't actual taping, isn't the
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
work. It's
that's
the
true.
in between. So what was really challenging about that?
For me, like I'm gonna compare it to PBB. I think I gave this answer on the big night of PBB. They said
Okay.
they asked, I think, what the biggest challenge of PBB was, and I said the biggest challenge was just being in the house. Because like yeah, if you see an episode of PBB, that's highlights.
Yeah.
That we spend 24 hours back to back, 24 hours. Do you think that, first of all, from a producer's point of view, like if you have to give challenges and activities to people that will last 24 hours, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just dead material where
All the time.
we're just sitting around. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say that we had so much of that during the movie. Again, there were days where, like 4 days, 5 days straight, we're shooting 12 hours a day.
So
Then as soon
bagsak
as we
ka
get
lang.
back to the hotel, and then like sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give the same answer and say like the hardest thing about lock and shooting is just being there. Like if you have a bad day, and I had a couple of bad days during shooting, you can't just go home. You can't hug your mom or talk to you can't get out and talk to someone about it, or relax your mind. You can't really do that, because in the same way that you have your room, you have your safe space. Like if you want to cry, you can cry. And you can't necessarily feel the same way in a hotel room that you're
Because
going to
it's
be
not
for like
yours.
4 more days. It's not yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have like 4 days there, and then you're gone. So that by the time you feel comfortable within your own room, within your own space, you have to go already. So there were times where I was, I'm a very, very big preparer, or like overthinker, a planner. And the thing is, it's funny, you can't plan for life. Surprise, guys. You can't necessarily set a plan and it's gonna work your way. Heck no. There's a saying, when man makes a plan, God laughs. So again, I'm an overthinker. So when things didn't go right for me on set, or didn't go the way that I wanted or planned them, there were times where I started to freak out. And again, thank goodness I had an amazing director. Maymay was there, who's always my anchor on set. When your mind is flying in like 30 different directions, when you have someone who's physically in front of you to anchor you into the scene, and into reality, that's something that's really, really, money can't buy that. And I had multiple versions of that because of the amazing cast that I was with.
Okay.
So those were the challenges, the mental side of it all. It's not just the formations and the basketball. It's the time in between the games, if you want to use that as a metaphor.
How did you sort of recover, and you couldn't hug your mom and talk to your family? What was your substitute for this taping experience? Like, what did you end up doing? I know that you have been very vocal and you're really devoted to your faith, so I'm sure that played a huge part. And you have online meetings and worship sessions. What else did you do to sort of fill that void that that you needed as a human in between?
Well, again, a big part of it was, I have to mention it, was my faith.
Of course.
Again, every morning, every evening, I'll spend time in worship, prayer, and reading the word. There were times, and this is really funny, where I'll be praying. Like, again, our first day, I'll tell it. Our first day, I was the first scene of the day. Maymay was coming in the second scene, and it was a pretty simple scene. It was like an establishing for my character. The first, to set the tone for the character for the whole movie. It was that scene. Like I come out of the bathroom, putting on my shirt, and talking to my friends, and then I get a call from my mom. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything else. But again, it sets the tone for my character, and I couldn't get past this one line. Like I just couldn't say it for some reason. And I started getting like tense because it's like, it's so simple. I had to say, oh, lagi. It's like Bisaya. I just had to say it, and I couldn't do it. I kept on choking on the words, and I couldn't remember the other lines, and I was so stiff, and it just wasn't good. So we ended up moving to a different scene, and that was a big confidence booster.
Sorry.
Di ko tinapos. Di ko matapos. I couldn't do it, and then so the director's like, okay, Edward, I'm just gonna move to a different scene. And again, our director's
let's go back
amazing.
to that later.
He knows me, yeah. So he's like, let's just go back to it. I was like, and that was like a big punch to the gut on the first day, first scene. I was like, man, this is just the first scene. This is not even like a heavy scene. Yeah, and so I was like, dang. And bless Maymay's heart, she sat with me and she's like, it's okay, like it's fine. Mm-hmm. Of course, in the moment, you think it's like so much bigger than it is. So sorry, my whole point of all this is that I was like praying to God. I'm like, God, man, you said you're gonna give me strength. You said you're gonna support me.
Yes.
You promised. Like, where the heck are you?
Where is it? Okay.
And again, first day jitters, and our director even acknowledged that, like, it's okay. It's the first day. You haven't acted in over a year.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. And I realized I was putting a bunch of pressure on myself. No one else was putting pressure on me. Like, it wasn't like the producer was like, Edward, you got to do this or you're fired. No. No one was, even the crew were like, it's all good, dude. Like, no worries. And then I realized that on my phone, there were so many people who were sending me like love and support. Like, I had my church mates. They're like, Edward, we're one call away. We're praying for you. We're here for you. I had people on set who were there. So it was all, it wasn't a question of if it's there, it was a question of my perspective. So I had people around me that loved and cared for me. So that was that. That was one side, that I had my church that was with me, the body of Christ that was there supporting me. But another big thing was the closeness that we built throughout the cast. I remember the actual first day in the evening. So we finished like 7 p.m., I guess, around 7 p.m. I went to the shower, cried for about half an hour. I'm not going to lie.
For half an hour?
First day sucked.
First off, half an hour for a shower is long, and then you spend it crying. Wow, that's the stand you shower para hindi makita.
Well, it wasn't probably like no, bro. My PA was in the same room. I was like, I told my PA like, we're gonna be here for a month. You're probably gonna see me in my rawest emotions at some point. This is Jabin, yeah.
Ooh, okay, my favorite.
She knows me so well. She knows my habits now. She knows as soon as I get out of the shower, I need my slippers there. She knows
Instagram
everything.
Famous.
She's like my second mom. Yeah, she's
Instagram famous.
She's also a vlogger now, so check out the vlog.
She is a vlogger.
Yeah.
What's the name of her vlog?
Oh my gosh, hold on. I think it's like, wait, let me check it out. Right. Wait, don't let me forget my point. I have a point to all of this.
Sorry. Go ahead. Do your point first. We can talk about Jabin after.
Okay. So it's like, anyway, it's Jabin and Pat. Like, it's their YouTube channel. Maymay PA. So anyway, I get out of the shower and then I see a text from Kuya Pepe Herrera. Again, we wanted to really build the mechanics and the dynamics between our trio.
The chemistry,
because like Maymay has her and her support cast. Then I have me and mine. So like our team is the Yayflix team because we're creating a documentary. Anyway, for the movie. In the movie. We'll get to that later. I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So I get a message saying like, hey, let's hang out. Let's eat dinner together. Because we hadn't eaten our dinner yet. And Kuya Pep is like, come to my room. We can just talk.
Yeah. You need that.
And so that set the tone. Like, we'd eat together on our days off. Like the first couple of days, I remember Maymay was the whole movie really revolves around Maymay's 2 characters.
Yeah.
She has 2 characters. So there were days where, me and the Yayflix team, Pepe and Taku, didn't have any shooting. So we would just go to the restaurant in the hotel and eat together and talk. And that's how our chemistry really strengthened. And then it grew from the 3 of us to the whole cast. There were times where, of course, within safety protocols and all the safety measures, we would eat together. We would hang out together to the point where we would literally not eat if it wasn't together. So that was my replacement. Yeah. I mean, that was 5 minutes basically of answering your question.
Yeah.
Of basically saying that the cast was my family and my church.
You
was
need
my
that.
family.
You need that support system. But you mentioned Pepe Herrera a couple of times. I know I mean malamang we're not friends, but I've seen him. Is he the same on screen and off screen? Like he's a very
Bro.
funny guy. He's a very
Yeah.
if you would have to give an image of what a Filipino comedian would sound like, would look like, would behave, he's the guy. He's the guy. How is he? Is he the same on and off screen?
Well, of course, I would say on screen he varies because of his
Characters, okay.
But he does have like a certain I in many ways yes. The whole answer is that he's a truly organic person that is just a pure ball of energy to work with. Like he's not like a jittery dude. He's always like, but
he turns it on if
he's
he
always
has to.
Talking. No. It's consistent throughout
He's always
everything.
on. Oh, okay.
He's always on. He's always he's always
okay,
turned on. No. But like he's one of those dudes where it's really fun to work with him because all I have to do is look at it. I'm already laughing. Like and
that's a
skill. It's not necessarily the emotion for the and like I'll talk to him and I'm so happy. Like when he had his last day because he had to leave before my shooting was over, which sucked because it was like my big brother leaving the set.
Yeah.
Again, like every time I'm nervous, what we would do, and I don't know if it was sort of like I don't want to say mutual understanding because here in the Philippines it has a completely different meaning.
MU na kayo
but it was just one of in MU kami ni Pepe, which sounds even worse because of his name.
I didn't say that, but I get it.
Anyway,
I get it.
Yeah, but anyway, it was just like when we were, malamang mostly ako, hindi naman siya. But I think it had an impact on him as well. When we were like tired or worried, not necessarily worried, but stressed or just like pressured for the scene, we just talk to each other about random stuff. I'd ask him like, Kuya Pepe, what's your tattoos about? And we just have like a half an hour conversation about that. We would just start laughing about something on set. And that's a really, really big thing that many people underappreciate in the best of work spaces. Okay. Like think about it. If you have I don't want to take MYX as an example because not many people can relate to it. Think about it as like you're working in I don't know.
You can use MYX because
it's call center.
Okay, but you can use MYX because you actually experience it. So parang you have a
Sige,
better understanding of that. Yeah.
Let's just say when you're taping and you're waiting for the spiels to come in. Like the spiels haven't been sent in yet for the prompter. And you can talk to Atiana. You could talk to Ate Feliz. You could talk to Direk Miko about anything that's like even things that's not work. Or you can talk to a VJ. Like the thing that sucks is that we only really like with you and I and Danny and Sam, we only really experienced it online. And it sucks. But like there are times where I talk to you about like, man, ABS is shutting down. What's going on?
Yeah,
like,
gets
things like that.
You need
and
those.
bro, so having that on set with Kuya Pepe was truly valuable. So.
Okay. Now let's go let's go into this story. You are here also to promote the movie Princess. How do you say Princess Daya Reese or do you just Princess Daya Reese? Is it just one word?
Princess Daya Reese ang sinasabi lang
Daya Reese. So there's that pause.
Yeah.
There's that pause.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's a little pause.
Without spoiling anything, and as much as you can share, just share with all the listeners. What's the movie about?
Okay. Well, I just want to make it clear first off. There is a Princess Diaries, like an international movie. I don't know. Have you seen it, Anton?
Anne Hathaway?
The Princess Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty old.
Okay. Pretty old movie. So it is a wordplay of that.
Okay.
But the story is completely different.
Yeah.
So it's Princess Daya Reese. And the main character, actually, the main two characters is Reese and Ulap, which is Maymay side. I'm not used to telling the story because usually in promo, Maymay tells the story because it revolves around her.
I want to hear, this is an exclusive. Edward Zone who's going to talk about the movie.
I'm the one talking about the movie this time. So it mostly revolves around a character called Reese. One of Maymay's two characters, Princess Daya Reese. So, dinadaya, si Reese, dinadaya niya ang pagiging prinsesa.
Prinsesa niya, okay.
So, fakes being a princess. And the way my mom always tells it, I'll tell it as she always tells it.
With the accent.
Reese is no. Reese is a woman who needs money. She just needs money. She wants money. through certain circumstances, she's the queen of Pandaraya. So she's a scammer. She's a scam artist. She's an extremely intelligent woman, and she'll do whatever. She has her accomplices, her cousins actually, who she works on scamming people to get money. And I'm saying that because it's also seen within the trailer. By the way, to anyone listening right now, the trailer is available to watch on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
On YouTube as well. So you can go check it out right now. So anyway, Ulap, my second character, comes along and says, "Hey, I'm a princess."
She's the princess.
Ulap, Princess Ulap is the princess. Yeah. So really sweet, really quiet woman. She's like, kidnap Reese, also played by Maymay. So Ulap and Reese are played by Maymay, and says, "Hey, I'm a princess. You look exactly like me.
Switch.
Take my spot. Take my spot because I have, if Maymay's character Reese only wants money, Ulap only wants love." So that's the main priority in her life. So she has a love life, and she's like, "Take my spot, and I'll pay you to take my spot. Just give me a little bit of time, and so I can have my love life, and then I'll come back." And so they swap places, and there's a whole.
Wait, she couldn't have love in her own kingdom, Princess Ulap.
No, because I'm not gonna say anymore, bro. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Okay. So that's something. That's something in the movie. Okay.
Yeah, that's something. So it's all about. It's sort of like a princess swap, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because Ulap didn't want Reese's life. She just wanted the freedom to have love. So anyway, that's where the main story revolves around. That decision for Reese to take the princess's spot within her own kingdom. And of course, Reese thinks that, oh my gosh, wow, what an amazing, I'm going to be a princess, ball gowns, pillars, all of this stuff. And she finds out that she's a princess of a tribal, tribal kingdom, which is named the Kingdom of Oro. Okay. So in Princess Diaries, we had in that international movie, you have
Genovia,
which is their own made-up country. I think they still speak English there, but in Oro, we made up our own language. So we made up our own language, our own culture. We built our own set, literally they built like a castle out of bamboo and other stuff. Beautiful set.
You didn't speak in Filipino?
No, I mean, I had to speak, so, oh man, am I giving away too much?
Only what you can give.
No.
Only what you can give.
Me and Reese are actually the only two Filipino speakers on the island.
And then there's subtitles. Sana naman there's
no.
I mean, if there's no subtitles,
there are.
I wouldn't get to understand.
They have to speak the Oronian when they get there. But, so it's all about that. So before I get there, I'm gonna go to my character. My name is Caleb Abdon here. I'm like a producer, journalist, reporter, and I am actually I'm one of the three foreigners who are legally allowed to go into Oro. And our job there is to create a documentary. We're employed by Yayflix. That's why I have a camera. Yayflix, yeah, I know. Yayflix. So we're there to create a documentary and unravel the secrets of Oro. And Caleb at heart. If Reese wants money, Ulap wants love, Caleb wants the truth. He will do anything for the truth. He's a truth seeker. Again, may special hugot siya dun kung bakit gusto niya talaga yung kung ano yung totoo. Yung katotohanan. There's a special story there. Basta he's there and he wants to expose any story, So the whole mechanics is around, again, that's the main decision, Maymay becoming that, or Reese becoming that princess. And it's the dynamics between a truth seeker and a liar. One who's trying to expose the other, and one who's trying to hide. So, of course, there's a love story there, and all of that.
I wonder with whom.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Malamang kami ni May, no? But that's really the whole story.
Okay.
How much of the ending? I can tell the ending.
Sure, how much of how much of yourself do you see in your character?
Honestly, major parts.
You actually see the truth, ganon.
Not that. I mean, there's certain personality. I mean, part of Caleb is that. Let me answer it this way. A lot of people ask me what my peg was coming for this movie. Like if I had a specific actor or a specific person, I actually had coffee as my peg. Like if there is an essence, yeah, I'll explain.
Wait, sorry, as in kape?
As in coffee beans.
Okay. Okay.
And Caleb's a person who wants the very best. He expects the very best from himself and from anyone else around him. He wants, like, if you think about it, if you were to want a cup of coffee, he'd want the Italian beans, espresso, hand ground,
the social,
premium quality,
yes.
the best of the best.
Okay.
So that's that type of person that he is. He wants that premium standard, and hindi niya malalaman or he will not understand or realize until he meets Reese na masarap din pala yung 3-in-1.
Do you have any endorsements for coffee?
No, I don't.
Oh,
if there are anyone,
alam nyo na.
Alam nyo na.
Alam nyo na.
Movie ako.
That's his inspiration. Okay.
Yeah, no, really, that was it. So I literally had a tin of coffee, of non-ground coffee beans that I'd smell. That would be my peg because that'd help me get into character.
Whoa, what?
So, I mean, if there was an essence of an object.
First time I heard of this acting method. Well, I don't know much acting
That's actually
methods.
Something. Again, shout out to Miss Ana Fileo, my acting coach and Maymay acting coach.
You've
as
talked
well.
about her a lot.
The amazing. Again, this technique comes from her. Not her technique, but she teaches this technique.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the actual technique. So that's just one of the many things that you could do. After a while, I didn't have to do it anymore because, especially within lock and shooting, back to back, day after day, you sort of get into character
already
without even needing to really prepare.
Okay.
That's what was the main question that I was asking?
What do you like? How much of yourself
do I
you
relate?
see in your character?
Yes. A big part of Caleb's actually is pride.
Okay.
And let me answer the question in this last way. There's this really big confrontation scene at the end.
Okay.
Our bandang dulo, last quarter, last third, and during that, Caleb realizes that acting purely on emotion, that he made a mistake, and it's one of those mistakes where, like, man, I messed up. Even if I say sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to walk away. Like, there's nothing I can do anymore. Like, you really just have to give it to God and just like, oh crap, I messed up.
Move on.
It's in your hands now. Like, not move on. Just allow whatever's gonna happen.
Oh no, but I mean, like, move on from the situation. Like, okay, let's just take the next step.
Yeah, I guess it's just like take a step back and just allow whatever happens.
Okay.
And I completely relate to that decision. Again, I have my own private life. I'm not gonna tell you guys, but I'm just saying, I completely relate to that decision where, like, crap, I messed up. I can't do anything. All right, God, ikaw bahala.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, pride is part of Caleb, and I was like, I don't struggle with pride. And then I realized being shy, that's pride. I realized worrying about the opinions of other people, that's pride, bro.
Yeah, I get the worrying about other people's opinions, but then if you're shy, that's a form
being
of.
shy.
I never
pride,
thought of
bro.
it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, technically, because it's like you're trying to, like, you're conscious
hiding
about who
yourself.
you are,
Parang you don't want to
yourself.
show yourself because you. Parang di nila
Pride
deserve
isn't
to
just
see.
being proud. It's
like
there are many layers. That's another topic, bro. I could talk to you for.
Okay. All right.
To get me back on the show.
Let's go back to the movie. Where I don't think that we can see this in the cinema. I saw in the trailer it says in selected cinemas. How can people watch this?
So it's gonna be available to watch on 5 different streaming sites. Or
Yayflix,
options that you guys can. No, not Yayflix. But it's gonna be available to stream for 150 pesos.
Okay.
Starting January 1 on KTX.ph. I Want TFC, IPTV, Signal Pay-Per-View, and Sky Cable Pay-Per-View. Again, just keep an eye out on our social media and on Star Cinema social media on how to be able to watch this. Again, 150 pesos, super easy.
Yeah.
Maymay and I have made certain videos in preparation, just like explaining step by step how to do it. It'll be released in a timely manner.
Okay.
Probably by the time that this is released, it'll be already out there. So
yeah.
Of course, it's not the dream that we wanted. Of course, we always wanted this to be in cinemas. That's the main goal. That's, we're making a movie to be seen in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Again, they're very select few. cinemas.
Really?
Usually, if it would be showing in 300 cinemas on a normal movie, 300. If it's really successful, even 500
Yeah.
cinemas across the Philippines. I think we're showing in like 20.
Okay. Well, at least there
But
are.
we're also showing online. Yeah, we're showing online as well.
Yeah.
So yun, that's where people could see it online.
Okay. One more thing I was gonna ask about the movie. I saw the trailer, and can I know who had the idea of not from the makers of Game of Thrones?
I have
Not from
no
the
idea.
You don't know?
That's purely Star Cinema. They're the ones who created the
Oh,
trailer. I just want to say one thing about the trailer though. Like I remember watching the trailer with Drek, and we were like, okay, because again we have no hand in the trailer. We just have hand in,
really?
it's all, it's produced by Star Cinema, and I'm not knocking on Star Cinema. I love them. They created the trailer, but the trailer shows the comedy of this
Yeah.
movie. It shows a little bit of the love story, but it doesn't go much deeper than that. I can say that. I'm not
Oh.
saying expect The House of Us. I'm not saying Hello Love Goodbye
Yeah,
MMK.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
But it's not just a
But
comedy.
it's not just comedy. I'm
Oh.
really happy and proud of this movie because it's not formulaic. It's not like
Sorry, it's a what?
formulaic. Like it's not a
Formulaic.
formulaic script. Like it's not
The
rich boy
typical.
meets poor girl and falls in love and fights his
Okay.
family to, that's a typical formula that you'd see within
Gets.
Filipino cinema and TV.
Okay.
This is not a story that you've it's coincidentally it's funny because Princess Diaries is an international movie, and we've been fighting throughout promo to not, to remind people that this is not a Filipino version of Princess
Yeah.
Diaries. This is a wordplay on the title, but it's completely different. I don't think people at least within the Philippines, have seen a story like this before. That's why, to the writers, Ate Christine, Miss Carmi, they are amazing. These are some of the minds that are behind My Perfect You, The House of Us, our first movie, Loving in Tandem. So these people know us, and they know their
Okay.
brains are amazing. So that idea, not from the makers, that was
Yeah.
all from Star Cinema.
Oh, so you were as shocked as I was. Because I was like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. I have one more thing I'm gonna say about the trailer though, that I was a little sad. I mean, I have nothing against Maymay being the voiceover, but there's the AB, the ABS CBN. I'm not sure what his name is. The ABS
Oh, I
CBN
don't know either.
voiceover. But
The deep one.
yeah, dude, I kind of miss that voice. He's in every.
Oh yeah, he'll be there, and you'll hear him again. I'm
He'll
sure.
come back. He'll be back. Okay.
I think it's better na hindi rin siya yung nag-dub.
Yeah,
or
it's so it's more personal. It's like it's
wouldn't
May's
fit.
voice,
Yeah,
it's
of
my
course.
story. Okay, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. All right, so that's for the movie. Congratulations. I haven't seen it obviously, but from the way you're talking about it, I'm excited to see how the
Are you
movie's
gonna
gonna
watch
be
it?
like.
Are you
Of
gonna
course,
watch
I'm
it?
gonna watch it, man. Of course, I'm gonna
Are you
watch it.
seriously gonna watch it? Because a
Yeah,
lot
of
of people
course,
have
I'm
said
gonna
they're gonna
watch
watch it. That I'm not sure if they're okay. So
Yeah, I will. I
KTX,
will. I will. I
IPTV.
will. I will
Alright.
watch it. Probably not. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to watch it agad in the first, but I will watch it. I promise you that. By January, I'm
Okay.
gonna get to watch it. Okay, now I wanna
Okay.
go. I asked this question to Sam also. Um, when I got to interview her a few weeks back here in the podcast. Life after mix. I want to know in your perspective. We were talking. We've had a lot of episodes talking about how like we're thankful for the time we had in mix. We're grateful that even if wala na tayo,
Yeah.
we still have those memories, all those stuff. Like we seem pretty bright and optimistic about the future. I'll be the first one to tell you that it
Yeah.
has been hard for me, honestly. I'm not saying that I wasn't happy. Like I do love the growth I got to go through and the experiences that I had to face the
Yeah. Yeah.
past
Of
months.
course.
But for you, besides this movie, because obviously that's the one that was really preoccupying you, how has VJ Edward been after mix?
Honestly, I felt a little bit. There are times where I felt rusty since we haven't. I haven't been doing the exclusives again,
Uh-huh.
exclusive interviews. I haven't been, talking. I miss just really getting to express my feelings and my thoughts on the Mix It Up podcast, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done
Yeah.
within my career, within show business. Is the Mix It Up podcast. It's one of the things that I'm most proud of, and it's funny because it's one of the things that most people might not actually know
Yeah.
that we were doing.
We
Like
were
we
in the
had like
early phases pa eh.
Yeah, we had like I think 1,000 people who would really loyally view us every episode. Shout out to Samantha Suarez.
Samantha Suarez. Oh yeah. Some of them when I posted a picture recently on Instagram with you guys, with the VJs. And then like some of
It's always clear.
the mix it up viewers, they liked it, they commented. It warms my heart. The part, yes! Wala na kami sa mix pero parang nandun pa rin yung support. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
so,
to you guys.
I really miss doing that, and I wish, I hope, nagpaparinig ako sa mga bosses ngayon. Miss Ina, like, when ABS CBN and the whole industry and the whole Philippines can get up, off their butts and really get, I think the word is bangon.
Yeah.
Pag nakabangon na yung Pilipinas at ABS CBN and MYX in general, I'm hoping and I'll fight to bring it back. Even though I'm technically not a VJ anymore, I will fight to bring it back.
Well, they say once a VJ, always a VJ.
Of course.
But yeah, technically, yeah.
I'm not under contract, so
yeah. So
I get what they mean though, of course, and I agree with that. But since MYX, like I've been keeping up hosting work because of I Want ASAP every Sunday, and I can tell like there are so many ways that MYX has helped me and grown and taught me stuff that I've been able to use there. Again, I Want ASAP was not. It wasn't happening for a couple of months during quarantine because they didn't know how to do it into an online. I put it into an online format.
Yeah.
And then like during those months we were doing MYX, and then suddenly when I Want ASAP was back, I was like, oh dang, this is easy now. Like I wasn't stressing about. I wasn't trying to memorize questions before I interviewed the guest. I could just listen and ask questions.
And it's on your screen.
What I already knew, and it's on and the script is on our screen, of course. Yeah. But it wasn't like I didn't have to stick to those pre-written questions from a different writer. And again, we had to write our own questions for them exclusive interviews. So I wasn't used to like giving that responsibility and power to someone else anymore.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie. There were times where I was in shooting. I'm like, man, I miss MYX. Like I remember stressing out for interviews before MYX, and then like I'd be so pressured by my own self. And then when I got to shooting, I'm like, man, looking back on MYX, that was nothing. Like that was like the stress that I went through there was nothing, and I miss it a lot. Yeah. I miss like I'm gonna say like the baguettes. I miss the three of you, you and Sam and Danny. But of course, I miss at the IE, and I miss everyone else. Yeah. I don't necessarily miss Robbie as much.
You get to work with Robbie time.
Yeah.
For you. Okay, so even if I don't have, even if I don't really have a hand in Robbie's success, it's like I didn't push him naman to be like, yeah, Robbie, kaya mo yan. Like he would have done the things he's doing now, whether or not he knew me. But like whenever I see his commercials on YouTube or Instagram, diba, I'm like so proud. Like, yes, go Robbie! I'm so happy
Robbie!
For you. And he's dancing. He's dancing and he's singing also. And he's being Robbie.
But also other than that, like I remember him saying, I think somehow, I don't think he'd say like, quote me on this.
Okay.
But he was really proud of our batch. Like I think we were one of, I don't want to compare our batch to other batches, but we were one really cohesive batch. They said like, Robbie was really proud of this one. Yeah, of course, situational. And again,
but also I feel like we're pretty good
because we'd be carrying. Bro. Honestly, I can really say that may mga episodes na medyo mayabang ako to healthy level of pride. I'll be like, man,
confident
with this,
in oneself.
Yeah, confidence the word. That's not in oneself, in the group. I'm like, man, if I make a mistake, Anton's gonna Anton. Anton is gonna save me.
Go.
Yeah, like
go.
Someone's gonna be able to, we could talk about. We had an episode of Mix It Up where we talked about fruit for 10 minutes. You know how hard it is to talk about fruit for 10 minutes?
Not for us. Apparently,
not for us.
Not hard for us. You can make us talk about anything.
So like it was just that I really missed it. I think that's probably the thing I missed the most. The like whatever topic is thrown at us, whatever responsibility or burden is thrown at the group that we have, we can handle it. And you don't really have that. Like I challenge anyone who works within like a group or a team. Do you have that? Like it's great if you do, but not many people have that trust. Not many people have that. I mean, some people have to work with people they don't like, and I'm so thankful that MYX wasn't like that. Everyone loved each other. Everyone worked for each other.
That's nice. You mentioned a while ago, though. You mentioned you mentioned the word bangon, and you talked about when ABS CBN gets back up.
Yeah.
The reality is, I don't know. I mean, am I allowed to say other? I won't say any other companies na
networks.
Because you're here. So, I'm also not cursing at all this whole episode. Just wanna say, I put wax on today for you. I didn't curse. But my question is, the reality is there have been stars that moved, and me personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, it's a job. If you need to make a living for yourself, go do it. At first, I also thought like we weren't that scared. Like, okay, yeah, there's these issues with the government and everything, but parang okay naman, we'll find a way. It's almost the new year. How is it like now? Is it still the same? Has it improved?
I say like even the atmosphere within ABS is like, I can't tell you. There's so many things going through my head right now.
Okay.
Let's just say like yesterday, I had a conversation with Sir Gary because yesterday as we shoot this, I had a conversation with Sir Gary V. And we were in ABS. We had the Christmas special. We were live, and then I was talking to him.
And Aya danced there.
Aya was there. Yes. Yeah. But I was talking to Sir Gary, and he was like, "Man, I'm just so happy to have the band back because how many months they'd been performing on ASAP and they didn't have the band, and so then they had the live band back, and he even has a video on Instagram of him like so excited about it.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the things, like one of the sentiments within ABS CBN right now. Like every time I see Sir Gary or any other artist, and it's fun. It's so fulfilling and so nice to be a talent because you see people that you've worked with for 4 years, and I don't want to put myself on the level anywhere near like Gary V, Martin Rivera, ASAP cast, but they know me. And I know
you're
them.
A part of it.
So
man. You also.
Like it's so nice to be a part of it now. Like finally, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Sir Martin was handing out Christmas gifts, and he had one for me.
Ooh.
And he had one for Maymay. He had one for everyone at ASAP.
Did you open it?
And so, yeah, it was really nice. Anyway,
Are you gonna tell me what it is?
A personalized alcohol
with
spray,
your name,
with ASAP on it.
Oh.
And it was like leather, and it's really nice. I still have it.
Alcohol your hands, ASAP. Every time you touch something.
Amen. Of course, everyone listening right now, do it right now. I'm not saying I wasn't for the past couple of years, but
really
to this extent, like I felt it now, to the point where I'll see one of my fellow artists and we'll be like smiling just to see each other. And the conversations, it's 2020 taught us to appreciate things, and it taught me especially to appreciate being a kapamilya. And like, with all due respect to everyone who left, again, everyone has their own circumstances and their own situation. But for me, it was never a thought in my mind. I was never gonna leave.
Okay. And it's still the same now. It's still the
same now.
Has it gotten stronger?
I mean,
are you guys more optimistic now entering into the new year? Because
heck yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, I'm cutting you off because I think I know your question, but I know that ABS CBN will be able to. I don't even want to use the word bangon anymore, but it sort of fits to the situation. I know we'll be able to really
deal with it,
and we have that Filipino heart. Every Filipino, I don't care what network you are, you have this this resilience that if you get knocked down, you get back up. I don't care. Like, you can be anywhere in the Philippines, you have that heart. That is the Filipino heart. That's we all have that. I don't care if you're half or not, you have that. And that's something that ABS CBN really stands for. Like, we'll always be in service of the Filipino. It's a catchphrase, yes. It's a motto, of course. But it's an idea that I realized that I had, and everyone within ABS CBN has. Anyone who's still there, even some of the people that had to leave, have that thought that even though it's the catchphrase of ABS CBN, everyone carries it. Like, we'll always be in service of the Filipino. And if anyone wants an example of that, just go to an episode of Asap Natin To. Like, go to a taping of it. You'll see how much people actually want to give everything that they have in service of the Filipino. So I'm optimistic. I'm actually stupidly optimistic. I know that we're going to be back. Like, I'm hoping by next year, probably within the next 2 years. And again, 2022, everyone, please register, vote, make a change, make a difference for you strong, man. Like,
have you registered
all the
Edwin?
kids.
You've
I've registered, yeah.
There you go.
I've registered.
Yes.
Maymay is registered. We registered with Kuya Robbie.
Oh yeah, I saw
others
this.
that registered. Everyone, please. Like,
okay.
Eto na lang. If I see anyone message me on Instagram, indirect messages, ask me how can they register, I'll help you out. Like, I'll send you a message on how to do it.
Okay.
That's a promise.
There you go.
So
walk the talk.
Please don't abuse that.
Yeah.
But
only with that question.
Only with that question.
Not question. Okay.
I'll send you like
Edward
documents
V.
on how to do it.
Okay. Wait, one more thing I wanted to ask about Gary V. Is he as animated when he talks? Like, I'm always curious about like people on screen versus off screen. Gary V, Mr. Pure
Energy. He is
Energy.
100% the same, bro. The same.
How
he is such a dad figure in everyone. I don't know. And it's funny because he's diabetic.
Oh yeah.
And so he's like, and he has the most, like, I'd say the main roster of, again, Gary V is like a face of ASAP.
He's an institution.
You know? Mr. Pure Energy. He's he's Gary V.
Yeah.
And the way the love that he has for his work and for everyone around him it's truly amazing. God is within that man. Like,
I remember
he's carried by that man everywhere.
I passed by him once in ABS and I'm like, I saw Gary V. I was like, oh shoot, it's Gary V, Mr. Pure Energy. Gotta take a picture with him. Even the way he took a picture with some random person was very Gary V. Like like he was really like, okay, thank you. I was like, oh, napag-God bless nga ako eh. Kasi usually obviously I want God to bless everyone. But I'm not the person to be like, thank you, God bless. But after that, I was like, thank you, sir. God bless. Like, I couldn't, it came out of me. Yeah.
I remember him talking to him like a couple of years ago or like maybe last year. He had to walk out, Araneta, Christmas special. Like, I think they were playing Little Drummer Boy or something. He had to come out and he didn't rehearse. They didn't tell him he had to do this. But literally on the giant stage of Araneta, he has to walk out and start playing like these little drums.
Okay.
And it was like the opening of a song. And then from that, everyone would come out and giant opening. So he's just like, leading the army that is ASAP Natin, or the family, the cast of ABS CBN.
Yeah.
And I remember him walking by and talking to Maymay and I as we were doing our rehearsal. I was like, guys, I'm so nervous.
Wow.
Like, they didn't tell me I was going to have to do this.
Wow.
Kinakabahan ako ngayon. And then he explained the situation, and we're like, we were not sure what to do because it's like Gary V's talking to us about his problems.
You're supposed to be the one who knows how to do it. I don't know what advice to give you. Nervous with a capital V.
And and then we're just talking to him, and he's like, well, Malana, God's gonna have me. And then, bro, if anyone watches that, he killed it. It was amazing.
Obviously. Of course he did. My goodness.
So that's just like, again, Sir Gary V is one of the, was, and always will be one of the most loved people. And like the embodiment of a kapamilya.
Amen.
Sure.
You mentioned,
I love you, Sir Gary.
You mentioned growing up. And this is one honestly like the last thing I want to talk about here. And thank you very much for your time so far here in the podcast. I wanted to go back to because obviously now you're a different person. Are you 19?
I'm 20, bro.
20. Okay, you're 20 years old now. You joined PBB a couple of years ago. Although you were still young, people can say you're still a kid. You were more of a kid pa back then.
Oh yeah.
I want to know, how was it like growing up under the microscope of the entire like Philippine nation? Like, I can only imagine. I've gotten to see you and talk to you and work with you behind the scenes for MYX, which is just like was less than a year, diba?
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it's like that everybody has their expectations of you. Everybody has their image of who they think you are or who they think you should be. And I know that you've thought of this a lot. I'm sure that it's something you deal with. Could you like shed some light as to what mindset you would take, to get through just one day at a time because there's so much pressure. I would always say that I don't think it's natural for someone who's really young to have that much pressure and that much attention.
100%.
Be under the public eye, diba?
Yeah.
But I would like to believe that you don't regret it, that you're happy with the opportunities you're given and where you got to.
Yeah.
But the path that you took wasn't a natural path. Like, I'm thankful that when I got on MYX on TV, I was graduated na. So I was like 20 plus na. But you went to PBB. Were you 16 when you were in PBB?
16. I just turned 16.
You just turned 16 years old, and then now you have a whole nation watching you. How was it like dealing with that pressure?
Honestly, I remember a conversation I had with my mom the day after I was, I think, within a home setting for the first time in a couple of months, because when I got out of PBB the first time. So I have to set this image in everyone's head. I got out of PBB November 16. And I went in August 6. So I was in there for 3 months. 3 months straight of being inside the house. Mm-hmm. Then when I got out November 16, I had a month where I was outside of the house. And then I went back into the house beginning of 2017 until March, I think. So I was in there for like a couple of more months. There was this month gap that I had where I was outside of the house after being in PBB for 3 months. And I remember being with my mom for the first time. We stayed in a small unit. I remember lying with my mom and like, Mom, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to comprehend what's going on. Got outside of PBB. I remember the day after I got out of PBB, 6 a.m. the next day, I was on ASAP. Like we were rehearsing. They blocked us for our prod on ASAP. I had to sing Baliw with Maymay. We had no idea what was going on. And this, I don't want to put this on the prod. I don't want to put this on ABS CBN. They did everything completely right. It's just we couldn't physically, mentally, emotionally process
what was happening,
what was going on. And it was like that for a couple of months where like we were just like in a daze of, oh my gosh, we're famous. People are screaming our name, and we're just like, we were in this half mental state of dang, this is really cool, and holy, what the heck is going on?
Okay.
And that really broke when we had our first movie. I'm gonna spend some time talking about this, so just let me speak. Go. So like we had our first movie, Loving in Tandem, and this is where Maymay and I were always close, but this is where we really grew close because Maymay and I were the lead roles of this movie, and we had no idea how to act. Literally, we had like for acting. So just so some people understand, there's a camera. That camera is focused to a certain distance, so you can't be like. Sometimes you lean back, you're out of focus. So you have to stay within this area. Okay. There are certain markers on the ground. So you step on those markers in that area and the camera will be focused on you. That's your lighting, all of that. So it's really technical. It's not just like walking around. So we had these T marks. Literally what I do before in Loving in Tandem, like we would reach up to 30 takes of a single shot. And it would take like one day to do one sequence, which is really bad. That's really bad. So literally I'd walk to the T mark, look down, check if I was in the right spot, and then start speaking my lines. And they're like, Edward, don't do that.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Don't do that. It's so like robotic, and it was bad. And there were points where Maymay and I were literally in, like we stayed in the same building at the time, until now actually. Different floors, different units.
Different units, yeah, of course.
But we have like a common gym area. And there would be times where we would literally just go to the gym when it was closed. We'd open the door. It wasn't locked. And we'd go to the corner of the gym and just start crying. We would start crying with each other.
Were you still 16 years old here?
I was like 17 at this time. Okay. My mother was like 20. Because we didn't know what to do. And we were like, it was not because of the pressure. No one could have helped us or done anything for us. It was just like, man, we suck at what we do at the moment, and it's really hard because we didn't like reaching 30 takes or 17 takes per shot. And you know what? Some of the things that we had to do was just like, Edward, all you have to do is wake up. All you have to do is sit up.
Ooh, ganda na acting. No. I saw that. That was nice. That was 3 years of experience already.
three more years of experience. Yeah. So that was when it really broke, and we had to really, and then we really just. Again, Maymay and I grew into a really big, a really strong team. We started, knowing how to discover certain things within our work together. That's how we're in the really close friendship that we are in now.
I just want to add this thing up. When you said that you and Maymay are a team, it's just something I thought of now. I've always been looking for the word or the right line on how I want to, like, if I could give a message to the Philippine people, because I always find it kind of kind of odd for two people to be in a love team and everybody wants them to be together. Everybody just wants to, like, the moment you have a picture with VJ Danny or VJ Sam, like, it's a thing. Like, I found it now.
They'll
You
freak
said you
out.
guys are a team. And that
Yeah.
is not a showbiz answer. You guys really are a team. But I feel like people are too focused on the love part. Love team. Like,
Well,
I think it's hard. It's not I like the team. I want people to focus on the team more. Like,
yeah,
you are
I
a
guess.
team. You and I can be a team. You and I are a team when we host together. We're not a love team, diba? You and Robbie are a
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not a love team. So I just wanted to, before I forgot, when I had the thought, I was like, okay, I have to say this thought. It answered something I've been wanting to voice out for a long time. Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah. But let me just say, and this that statement also, I'll answer that and your first question. My never, we were never in this mindset like, oh crap, we're a love team. We have to pretend. We have to do things a certain way. That was one of the things that was instilled to us in PBB from Kuya. Like, be real, be honest, be who you are. PBB will expose who you are. It exposed parts of me. I was lazy in some parts in PBB.
Okay.
But it also revealed many things. And the thing is, at the end of the day, your true self is revealed. And if the people like that, then they'll vote for you. And you can't change who you are. Some people try to change who they were, and you can't do that. So anyway, my whole point was, as soon as we got out of PBB, Maymay and I didn't know much, but we knew we wanted to be ourselves. We didn't want to be pressured into a certain, and
Like
we
a
saw some
typecast.
things that were like, man, I don't want to be, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be typecasted as a foreigner. Yeah, I'm speaking English now. I can speak Tagalog. I'm choosing not to at the moment.
Same.
So I can express my thoughts deeper.
Born and raised here naman.
So like we really just wanted to be ourselves, and people can contradict that. People can say, showbiz. Ewan ko sa'yo. I'm saying this. I know it's true. So you can say what you can have your own opinion. I don't really care. You can tweet about me. I don't care. We wanted to be who we were, and we didn't want to be like pressured by fans that wanted us to get together, or by bosses or by the industry. Wherever we were, whatever we were doing, we wanted to be doing it the way we wanted to be doing it. And so Maymay, again, I'll say that we're the closest of friends. There is no one else I'd rather be doing this with. Even if some of the things are like, acting and, falling in love and stuff like that. There's still no one else I'd rather be doing that with than Maymay. It's really, really crazy because growing up, and this answers your very first question, sorry. Growing up in this industry, it's impossible to do it healthily if you don't have good people around you. It's impossible. And I had people who were really like keeping an eye on us. We had bosses that were keeping an eye on us on a human level. We had a good family around us, good friends. But I'm really going to say, and I'm going to be honest now, the first, I think up until 2020, my attitude wasn't a healthy attitude for my coworkers or for me. I wasn't like there were times where like I'm tired. I come home from taping and it's like 6 a.m. And sometimes fans would be outside, waiting for ABS CBN audience entrance. Some people would know that I live where I live. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, Edward, let's take a picture. And like 24 hours of taping, 6 a.m. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I don't want to take a picture with you. And I'm not perfect. I'm going to be honest. There were times where I'm like, obviously not happy with them coming towards me. Again, I'm not, people are like, oh my gosh, really, Edward? I was like, no,
doesn't mean you hate the fans.
It doesn't mean I hate the fans. It just means like I don't want to do that at the moment.
Yeah, obviously.
And so there were times where I even made it like really obvious, and they're like, they got hurt. And of course, like you see, someone that you look up to, and they do that. It's not nice. And again, you can say that I have a right to do that, and yes, I do. But also I have an obligation because these people made me. Like, these people created my career. I owe a lot of this to these people.
Oh, that's a mature way of thinking.
It's something that's taught, like that's said to even like the youngest artists. But also I want to make it really, really clear that I didn't really understand that. Like you can understand it in your mind, but not if you don't understand it in your heart, it's completely different. So it took me a while to really grow into that. In 2020, And I have to say, and if there's a last topic, let it end here, Anton. Because you have a lot of content, I feel.
Yeah, no, I love this. I always like making it reach more than an ornament.
Okay, so like I really have to chalk this up to my faith. And when I talk about my faith, you've heard me talk about this before, but I truly believe that this is the core of everything that I am, everything that I have, everything that I will be. Because when people say, Edward, parang, nag-iba ka. You grew up,
You're
you
supposed to.
matured. Yeah, but bro, I realized for 3 years, from 2016 up until 2019, I didn't grow a bit. I didn't grow at all. I grew within within knowledge, but and within wisdom as well. I grew physically, but emotionally, I don't think I grew for 3 years. And this was exposed actually during shooting of the movie. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many
Which
parts of me
movie are
that
we
are
talking
still
about?
Princess
Princess
Daya
Diaries.
Reese.
Okay.
And there's some parts where, and let me ramble here. I
Please go on.
realized that it was exposed within me through faith, that I was a boy in so many ways.
That you
The
were
way
sorry?
that I
You
would
were
treat my family, that I was a boy in so
okay.
many real. I wasn't a man. Like, again, you can argue with me all you want. I don't care. You could be 35, 36, 50, 60 years old and still be a boy. You're not a man yet. A lot of parts of me were like, crap, I'm still a boy. And I started praying right then and there, like, God changed me into a man. But I went through something at the beginning of 2020 that could have led me down to one of two different paths. I could have been really like wasting my life. I could have turned to alcohol. I could have turned to drugs. I could have lost my way completely, hanging out with the wrong crowd. But because of the kindness of a very few people within my own church, shout out favorite church, I found God and I was completely safe. I always knew God. Everyone in the Philippines knows God. But when you walk with him every day, he will change your life 100%. So when I started getting close in my faith to God, my attitude towards fans changed. Not because of me, but because of what God was doing within my life. It wasn't something that I could necessarily, change within myself. It just started happening. The closer I got to God, the more grace I had, the more strength I had, the less worried I would be. And it's not a miracle. It's not just like God suddenly changed. No, I was pursuing this relationship with God.
You had the effort. It didn't just fall into your lap.
Yeah, God didn't just change me like that. It was a process. It took the whole of 2020.
Yeah.
But there was growth there. I grew within my community. I started seeking, the same way that I would look towards others to help me when I was worried about something. I would turn to God and pray about it. I'm still learning what it is, and I'm going on really deep. But let me just say that to answer your question, what changed me? How did I get through the past couple of years? I think from 2016 till 2019, I was just surviving. 2020 was really the year where I had to really learn what it was to man up.
That's good.
And through my faith, I'm learning that. And so hopefully now,
yeah,
I mean, I know the effect that my faith has had on my life. When I talk about my faith, it's something that's really intimate to me, but anyone who ever asks me about it, I'll always share. I'll always talk about it, because again, if they saw, showbiz is a multitude of things, but one thing that is not pretty. It won't always be pretty. And it's not always easy. So if people saw where I were emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I wasn't in the best of places, and I got out of it. And I'm at peace. I'm happy. I'm joyful. Not always, but I have joy, even though in the midst of struggles, I have peace and I have joy.
That's great to hear.
Not everyone has that. And I wish everyone could have that, because everyone
deserves
literally,
that.
it's there. Just take it. It's there. It's something that everyone should have. And if there's only one person who listens to this right now and is, the Holy Spirit speaks to you in a certain way, speaks to your heart, then even one more person having the joy and peace that is freely given, that's worth it to me. So hopefully someone hears that right now.
I'm sure.
That's you. God bless you.
Hey, it's
Go to
great
favorite church.
and it's refreshing to hear that. I've heard you talk about your faith a couple of times already, but then to hear it in this light and in this way. One, I'm just gonna throw a couple of things, a couple of my thoughts. One, you said that if anybody wants to talk to you about it, you'll be happy to share what you know.
Always.
For me, that feels like okay. That means that's a sign that it's authentic. That it's not because it's never gonna be wrong to say that you praise the Lord and you worship Him, but for you to actually be willing to take time to show that beauty, that experience you have to other people, that means it's authentic. Another thing I like from what you said is that you caught yourself that you said that in your taping you found out you're still a boy. I think that's a crucial step because once you feel like I feel like once someone thinks na, yep, I'm a man. Okay na ako. I've done all the improving I can get. I feel like you're not supposed to ever reach that point. So it's like it's a continuing process. And then last that I noticed with how you answered about how you survived, PBB, how you survived the years in between, how you survived taping. It was always through the people with you. So, coming from someone who I honestly say I care about you, I'm happy to see that you have that. You say that you have your faith and God helps you, but then it's the people It's the people then talaga na we get the for me kasi when we talk about God, it's very theoretical. It's very like, yeah, you have the grace of the Holy Spirit. But if you want to bring it down to like concrete things and concrete experiences, you have your loved ones. You have Maymay, who's your closest friend. You have these people who really care about you and care for you. And I feel like if there are other people here who are going through the same situation and they feel like they were just thrown into a situation na parang there's so much pressure and everything, there are those, just look for those people who honestly and authentically care about you and care for you.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have any, you have God. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I could talk for hours.
I know.
Hours and hours about this.
Fruits pa lang, all the more if it's something you're more passionate about, man. Okay, sorry, last few things na lang I'm gonna ask. One, last thing about you growing up, did you ever really want to be an actor? Like was acting in your was acting in your parang bucket list na that you wanted to do talaga?
Honestly, I joined PBB because I needed something to put on my CV or my resume for university. So that's the long story short. I didn't have anything cool to put on my resume or my CV for university.
Put PBB.
So I wanted to audition for PBB, and luckily I got in. God's plan. Hey, but it was never like everyone or almost everyone inside PBB, especially with my season, they had aspirations to become an artist, to become an actress or an actor, to sing, dance, do whatever. I never had that aspiration. I was actually afraid of doing that. And I just somehow made it to the end by the votes of the fans. Thank you. Mayward family, Solid Ed and Solid Maymay. Thank you so much. But also the grace. I can't just call it grace. It was never I never necessarily wanted to do it. Until now, bro, there are times, especially when I'm struggling, I'm like, man, do I actually want to do this?
Yeah.
But honestly, again, I'm here for a reason. But again, it was never my plan. It was never an aspiration growing up, honestly.
Okay.
But I'm happy with what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to see your success, man. I feel like, again, like with Robbie, whether or not I entered your life, you'd be doing these things. But I would like to say I'm proud to see where you are now. So what's next now? You have
hold
this.
On. With that point, bro, let me just say you are part of it, though.
Oh.
Like, you are part of it. Like,
thanks, man.
Anytime you see something, just know you are part of it, because MYX was a giant part of me realizing who I am, what I want to do, and the people who, like, never doubt this. If I see you in 50 years' time, I will know who you are. If you give me your name, I will know who you are, because you were part of a really, really important and vital phase of my journey. And you showed me, and guys, this is cringe. It's fine. I don't care.
I love this, by the way.
Anton, Fausto, Danny, Sam were some of the few people that showed me what it was like to truly have friends outside of an industry that I was so used to protecting myself from. So therefore, you will probably never understand the full capacity of your impact within my life as a friend, not as a co-host, not as a VJ, as a friend. you opened the door in many ways. The three of you, as well as Robbie and Anton, Robbie and Ai,
yeah.
and everyone within MYX. They helped open the door, but they were all showbiz.
Yes.
Danny, Sam, and you showed me that there's a life outside of showbiz where I can actually have friends.
Oh, that's nice, man. Thank you for that. And I don't know. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I never planned to be that, but then I'm happy to be here. All right. So once again, dude, congratulations on the movie. I haven't seen it yet, but congratulations that you pulled through and you survived. You're here. What's next? What's next for Edward Barber?
What's next? No idea. I have absolutely no idea. Chill
Relax
pill muna, bro. Maymay is also gonna take a little bit of a breather.
You deserve it.
I'm taking a little bit of a breather. 2020 was a year where everyone was sort of stuck at home, but you could never really rest. So I'm looking forward to just, breathing in, breathing out. I have to go back to Germany as soon as, Germany's currently in lockdown, so is England.
Oh.
I know traveling is not recommended, but my dad has been alone for almost a year within his house.
Your dad's still there?
My dad's still there, and
shoot.
this being alone in the house, like that's I don't know. My dad has amazing strength just to be able to get through that. So I need to be with him. That's one thing that people can expect from me in 2021 is that I'll be going to Germany. But I know that there'll be, hopefully this movie does well, and then there are more acting projects that come. But everyone, every Sunday, I'm inviting you to watch I Want ASAP. Of course, ASAP natin to. From 12 onwards, 12 until 2:30, around that time. Of course, keep on supporting MYX. I and Sam are killing it at the moment.
Sir.
Exclusive interviews. Celebrated our 20th year in MYX this year. Once a VJ, always a VJ. Please, I'm going to invite everyone again. Please watch Princess Daya Reese, which is coming out January 1, 2021. First movie from Star Cinema of the year. First day of the year, opening salvo. It will be available on ktx.ph. I Want TFC, TFC IPTV, Sky Cable pay-per-view, Sky Cable pay-per-view, and Signal pay-per-view. Guys, it's only available for 150 pesos. Start your year right. This movie is not just about comedy. It's not just about the emotions. It is a story that will truly light up your 2021. Start it in the right way. Restart. Yeah, Princess Daya, restart. Halata na nagpo-promo ako ng ilang weeks na.
Okay naman siya. Okay naman.
But it's gonna be a great, and if you know me on a personal level, if there's anything that has moved within you throughout this podcast, and you know the story behind it, then know that this is also a movie of revival, of redemption, and hope. So hopefully that's what it brings to you this 2021. See you there, guys. See you there, mga kapamilya.
Wow. Mga kapamilya. Thank you very much, Edward. Dude, as always, man, really appreciate the time and your honesty and the conversation. I hope we get to do this again in the future. And I hope we get to bring back what we had with the baguettes and mix it up. Thanks, man.
Bro, invite me again next year. I'm not doing much. Like, I'm going to have some vacation. Bring me back. I love this show.
For sure.
Literally, Anton on one.
Thanks, man.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man.